Welcome back, boys. Right now, what we're going to do is today is the day before the UFC 325. We have the main event of Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopes. And in this video, we're going to run through my personal picks, how I think fights should sway, how each fighter could potentially win, and by the end, I will give out my official predictions. We are also going to do a little segment of highlights. I'll do my best to show these fights, what things I seen. I did a little bit of tape study between most of these fighters and what I think they're good at, what they're bad at, and how each fighter can improve and what I want to see in this next fight. This is probably one of the biggest cards of the year, and the main card is pretty well lined up like the previous weekend of 324. The only thing is different is that the prelims and the early prelims are not stacked. There's a lot of fighters that I do not personally know, so I'm not going to make you sit here and gonna guess how each fighter is going to win. Personally, I'm just going to look at the betting odds and their topology to see if there's anything that I see that stands out from the grappling, from the striking, the submissions, or knockouts, and who have they fought in recently by name. If they're extremely new, and if this is their debut, we're going to basically be on the betting odds. Now, this way, so that just to make this a quick video and everything, we're pretty going to run through a lot. The ones that will go in depth is the main card. As you see, Alexander Volkanovski, Diego Lopes too. If you've seen my previous videos, you already understand my frustration with this fight. They've already fought a year ago, and we're not going to get started with this because we're going to eventually get to it, but starting from the beginning. Now, Sulan Granbo and Lawrence Louis. It does look like Sulan Granbo is the favorite to win. It looks like it's both their debut. Nothing that I see is different. We're going to go through their topology. And I'm going to copy here, post this here. There's no way this does not. Okay. All right. So it does look like his pro MMA career is 10-3. Does fight out of China. He is about 5'9", and he is 20 years old. Holy shit, he's born in 2005. He is super young. Super young. He has a lot of time to grow. It does look like he is on a tear, on a 9-fight winning streak. It does look like he's pretty much heavy favored for a good reason. It does look like he fought a road to UFC. He has a finish on the first round by an uppercut and ground punches. And actually, let me fix myself right here. So he has another Dr. Savage cut finish. It does look like he is a powerhouse. Hardly any grappling. Only has one submission win. And he has one loss by TKO and 6 wins by TKO. 3 decisions. 3 losses, not bad. He lost his first 2 fight. Everything. So, yeah, I could see why he is the favorite. Let's go with Lawrence Louis. He has a 7-1. He is currently on a 4-win streak. He is slightly shorter by 2 inches. He is a lot older. He is 29. 9 years difference. It looks like he has no grappling credentials. I don't see any submissions. I do see that he has a decision fighter and 4 wins by TKO. So it looks like he's going to be a striking fighter. He has a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lost 1, and then a 4. Is able to bounce back. Ooh. This looks like they're both on their way. They fought in the same organization, the road to UFC. My pick. I mean, this kid got dynamite and grappling. I want to see takedown. Damn. Oh, shit. So this guy has a lot more takedown average. 4 takedown defense, 100%. Accuracy. Huh. Very interesting because honestly, this guy can go submission because he has no submission wins, but he fights out of city kickboxing. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with the favorite. We're gonna play it safe here. We're gonna see how things go. Though the grappling is very interesting, I would watch out for that. If Solen Rambo doesn't finish him on the feet, you could see Lawrence kind of grind out a decision by wrestling. But my official pick will be Solen Rambo. This will be my official pick of it, and I think he could either finish it by a decision. I think he's gonna outstrike him. I don't think he's gonna finish him. Looks pretty difficult to finish. He only has never lost by TKO, only by decision one time. So I could see him winning by decision. Next up, Kaichiro Nakamura versus Sebastian Slaze. Another Japan versus Australia. This is China versus Australia. Damn, they got all the east side over there. So this guy, we're going to look up at his record. So he is 7-1. He is 27. He's on a 10-fight winning streak. Majority of his wins are by finish. So this guy is a powerhouse. Okay, 7 fights, decision. His last fight was a decision, but before that, it was all just straight finishes. That's insane. Literally only one by decision. He did lose by arm triangle choke. That's a decision. So there's 2 decisions. Why? Interesting. They'll like count as 1 decision here. But it does look like he is a finisher fighter. Has a lot of power in his hands. And his opponent, Sebastian Slaze, he has 10-1, so a little bit more experience. 8-fight winning streak. He is slightly shorter at 5'6", a lot older. He is 31, so he is currently in his prime technically. But it does look like he is a decision fighter. It looks like he does go through the entire time. I mean, sane decision, split, unanimous. He hasn't had a finish since 2023. Oh, I didn't even see this one. His last fight was a finish. Okay, but against Chang Ming Yoon. I didn't even see that. My apologies. And they have him as the favorite compared to this guy. This dude got power. This is interesting. Takedown and defense. They really don't have anything set up for these guys. Favorite. He is fighting at hometown. That is something he does have the advantage. I could see him grinding out a decision. I mean, Nakamura could knock him out, but he hasn't been knocked out before. I mean, and he has only lost was by decision, so it looks like he does have a chin. I'll probably need to put my guess. It was Sebastian Slaze or Slaze. God damn it, Slaze by decision. So Solen Rambo, Sebastian Slaze. Next one is Sang-Woo Kim versus Dom Marfan. Is this him? Is this he's fighting? Yeah. So I guess they have a different name for him. Sang-Woo Kim and Sang-Woo Kim. 13-3. A little more experience. He is 6 foot. Currently on a 4-fight win streak. This is the lightweight bout. Damn, he's a tall lightweight. He is a really tall lightweight. He is 32 though. He is a lot older. He is in his absolute prime. And it does look like he is an all-around fighter. I like to see this. I like to see the balance of this. He has 5 wins by knockout, 4 wins by submission, 4 wins by decision, and only 3 losses by decision. This shows that this guy is hard to finish on the ground, hard to finish on striking, but he's an overall MMA fighter. He is able to win in all ways. He is on a 4-fight winning streak. His last 2 was by finishes by a rear naked choke and elbows from a crucifix. Does look like he has a pretty strong grappling, ground and pound, a Darce choke. So this guy looks like he is a heavy grappler from what I'm understanding from his career. Don Marfan, he is 5'11", slightly shorter, still pretty tall. He is 25, a lot younger. He's currently on a 4-fight winning streak. It does look like he is looks like a strong grappler, but definitely a decision fighter. Only has 1 win by knockout. Doesn't look like he carries a lot of power in his hand. His last 3 fights, like you say, last 4 was 2-2. 2-2 meaning 2 fights won by decision and 2 fights by a finish. Punches against Tim Rogers and a rear naked choke against Tom Pratt. Guillotine choke, rear naked choke. Looks like he's another pretty strong grappler, but it doesn't look like his striking is at his level where he is at when he's grappling. It does look like he did lose by grappling. Honestly, I'm going to have to favor Song Woo Kim. It does look like he's a little bit more battle-tested. I need a Chimu head. It does look like he's a lot more battle-tested. He is an overall fighter. I like to see that all that wins by decision, by submission, by knockout, in very evenly spaced. He is a little bit older, and it does look like he's in his prime. So I'm going to go with Song Woo Kim. I think this is an underdog fight. I think it's a lot closer. What is? I mean, it's pretty close on the odds, 125, 150. But I think Song Woo Kim can get it done. I think he's just going to grind him out and actually finish him by a submission, from my understanding. He already lost 2 on the ground. I'm not saying that could be a third one, but it does look like there is a key win for Song Woo Kim, game plan at least, to go and pursue. Hey, he doesn't have power in his hands. I strike him, get him to the ground. Let's finish it right out, ground and pound. I'm going to go for Song Woo Kim. Next is Khan Offley versus Yiza. All right, these guys are a lot heavy and battle tested. Definitely could see 26-5. They both have won their last fight. Very, very similar build. I mean, and everything. Obviously, Yiza does have the reach advantage, while Khan has a leg advantage here. Both the same height. Let's see their history. Genghis Khan. It's funny. Genghis Khan Offley. Pretty good. So he is currently on a 12-4-1. UFC has him as 13-4-1. He did win his last fight. Typology needs to get on their game. He is 32. He is in his prime. Pretty big dude. He fights at featherweight. 5'7", 6'6". We already disclosed that. Submission decision. So it does look like he is a heavy grappler. He is currently 1-2 in the UFC. And it does look like he is someone who is very, very curious how it fights on the ground. So he lost his first 2 fights in the UFC. Left hook to the ground strike. He was finished. Did a decision versus Mohamed Naimov. Beat Ricardo Ramos by a standing rear naked choke. Crazy. He did that standing. Looks like this guy is strong. Rear naked choke, guillotine choke. Very basic. He had a bulldog choke. That's something. So this guy is really strong in the grappling. That's something very interesting. He's good. I like what I'm saying. He's definitely more of a wrestler grappler. Doesn't look like he is very strong on his striking from him looking at. Yiza, who he is fighting next. Let's see his. So Yiza, obviously you could tell, 26-5. This guy has had 31 professional bouts. It's a lot. And he's only 29. I've seen something very familiar, like fighters from China. They tend to have a lot of fights in their belt. And so young too. It does look like he's only on a 1-fight winning streak. He has slightly longer limbs. Dude is shredded. Again, 14 submissions, 6 wins by KO, and 6 by decisions. So this guy is a finisher fighter. I mean, 20 finishes out of his 31 bouts, and most of his losses came from decision. So he's very hard to finish on the striking, very hard to submit. And his last fight against Gary Bocento was by decision, by unanimous decision. Same against Young Lee. It looks like the last time he's got finished was back in 21 by TKO. But the rest of it, rear naked choke, arm bar, straight right, left hook. This definitely looks like it's not going to go to the ground. I think they both understand each other. Both are pretty much very grappling heavy. But I'm instinctively going to go for Yiza. I think the odd makers got this one right. Unless somehow Khan does something miraculously, like out grapples him or out wrestles him, the striking has to go on Yiza. He just has the longer reach. It doesn't look like he has a better understanding. I really want to see. I mean, yeah, look. He has a lot better defensive, but he definitely has a better output. This dude has a lot better takedown average. Takedown defense 54. He has 0% takedown defense. Again, he just is 1-2 in the UFC. He still has just recently been there. Same with Yiza. He is also 1-2 in the UFC. Canceled bout. So he was in the UFC, lost, and then was cut. Seems, and then he monetarily got back. So it looks like he has been here before, and he's on his second time here in the UFC. I'm going to go for Yiza, and I see him winning by a decision. Now, we move on to the early prelims. We move on to the prelims. Jonathan McAuliffe. Yeah, damn. 8-1, currently on a 3-fight winning streak. Nicknamed the Capitan. He's 26 years old, 6 foot, fights at welterweight. Currently, he has a win in the UFC. It's a rear naked choke, technical triangle choke. Interesting. Very spaced out. I like to see this. So definitely looks like he is an overall fighter. And when I say overall fighter, I'm always going to say when someone that has multiple finishes in different area or wins, right? It is good to go to decision. It is good to have a submissions and knockout. So it does look like he has very evenly win on all his wins. Even his amateur bouts, a lot of finishes. So let's see Oban Elliott. 12-3, a little bit more fights in him. He is currently on a 1-fight losing streak. He is 6 foot. He has 28 decisions. So he is mainly a decision fighter. Still, his knockout submissions are very close. It does look like he has been finished twice by TKO or knockout. One in the second round and one in the third round. He lost against Suk Hyun Ko. This was back in 2025. But before that, he was on a tear on a 8-fight winning streak. Beat people like Val Woodburn, Preston Parson, Basil Hafez. Looks like he had a little hiccup. And I do think this is his fight to win. I think this guy is tough. He's a Welsh gangster. Obviously, Jonathan McAuliffe is fighting at home. I want to see their significant strikes. McAuliffe does look like he has a better output in terms of striking. Grappling, takedown difference here, takedown average. Pretty equal in grappling from what I'm saying. Average fight time by somewhere down here. This is a toss-up. I'm not gonna lie. Don't mean to block your face, Oban Elliott. Call me crazy. I think I'm gonna go with Oban. I think he presents a little bit more danger. That's gonna be a tough one. I do think Oban Elliott gets this done. Now we're gonna go to this I love Torres Finney. His build is absolutely insane. It looks like he finally got signed to the UFC. He had been a while like strong. He is undefeated versus Jacob Malkoun. He's 5'8". He's currently on a 16-fight winning streak. He is 27. I mean, this dude is he's just built different. Literally, he's fighting at a middleweight, and he's not a tall guy, right? He is, but it does look like this dude got power in his hands. 7-fight win streak. 7 fights finishes, all 5 in the first round. He had a submission on the second round, only a single one, and 3 by decision. If I remember last time, yeah. He had a split decision against Robert Valentin. Very close fight. Had a ground and pound. He had a decision as well. This guy isn't like a very exciting fighter to watch. I'm not going to lie. But I do have him picked over Jacob Malkoun. Love that photo here, brother. He's 8-3. He's currently in a 1-fight win streak. He's 5'9", so he's not even that bigger than Torres. He is only like slightly an inch. He is older. He is at 30 years old. Does look like he had a 1 loss by disqualification. No submission win, so he's not pretty much a grappler. 3-fight winning streak. Finishes by TKO. Dude, I need to stop saying that. And he has a 5-fight decisions that he won. Last time he fought was against Andre Petrovsky. He finished him by ground and pound, but then lost against an illegal elbow to the back of the head against Cody Brundage. I guess this is the one that got him disqualified. Decision. I'm sorry to say this, but this is a Torres fight that's going to win. I don't think Jacob Malkoun is going to beat him. I think the odds have it wrong. Look, this dude might not be flashy, might not be extremely explosive, but I do think Torres Finney wins this. A little bit biased, he is an American, but I do think he's just going to outstrike and outgrapple him. He is so strong and dense. I don't think he's going to finish him. So I could see Torres finishing him on the second round on the feet. Cam Rosen versus Cody Brundage. Ironically enough, they fought. He won by a legal attack. Now, very interesting because they really have a huge difference in these odds. Cam Rosen. Actually, I could just go to this guy's name, honestly. So, Cam Rosen. He is currently 13-3. 6'3" is a pretty big dude. Middleweight, a 5-fight winning streak at the age of 31. Currently still going into his prime. It looks like he won his UFC debut against Andre Petrovsky. His last fights, calf slicer. So he's pretty good on the ground then. Rear naked choke, punches and elbows. I mean, 7 fights by submission, 5 fights by knockout, and 1 by decision, 2 losses by decision. So this guy is a finisher fighter. Yeah, I could see why they have a heavy favorite on him. Cody Brundage, 11-7, not the best record, technically 11-7-1. His last fight was a loss. He is 31, same age. Definitely has power in his hand. Only 3 submissions. Has 1 loss by decision, 1 win by decision, but 3 losses by decision. Unfortunately, his last fight was against Eric McConico, and it was lost by split decision. He was overturned. He was losing that fight. This is not a good. I mean, since 2022, he has only had 3 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could disqualify, but come on, 6 losses. Guy had a strong start, but something was just not clicking, man. He's 5-6. I hate to say it, man, but Cody, I think you're gonna lose. I think he's going to get finished. I think Cam Rosen is going to run through him. I hate to say that, but it just looks like, yeah, I mean, Cam Rosen is just an easy, not an easy pick, but you could just tell by the stats, right? Like, a lot of this is just going to be based on stats. Obviously, main event, we're going to do a little bit more highlights. Now, this one, Junior Tafa versus Billy Alecana. I hate to say this, but the Tafa brothers, man, they're very disappointing. I'm not hating, it's just the truth. This guy came in pretty heavy, a lot of favorite, especially because he's fighting from Australia, or New Zealand. My bad to my fellow young brothers from the down south, from that land down under. His nicknamed the Juggernaut. He's 29. He's still so young. Yes, still so much time. A lot of his wins are by finishes. Hardly ever goes to decision or a submission. So this guy just has power in his hand. But this is what I don't like. Right here. Canceled belt. Canceled belt. Canceled. 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 Look, I mean, this is not a good way to have your career, right? He got started off strong. He was a 2-2-2-2, right? He'll win 2, lose 2, win 2, lose 2, win 2. Then he was on a crazy streak right here. All right, this is 6-4. I'm for sure I'm counting more than 6. 1. Oh, but this is all kickboxing, boxing. This is where it goes to MMA. So definitely a better striker too. I'll just stick to kickboxing my time if I were him, because as soon as he got to 3-0. Leg kicks to the ground and pound. I do remember seeing this fight. A decision. A heel hook by Walter Walker. The heel hook menace. Beat Sean Sharaf, but lost against Tuco Tocos. Man, dude, I'm not going to lie. Let's see who he's fighting against. This guy is 9-2, 2-5 winning streak, 6'3", a little bit more slim, slightly older. Again, he is a decision fighter. I like the mix-up. 3 wins by knockout, 2 wins by submission. He had 2-1 at UFC. He beat Kevin Christian by a rear naked choke, a decision versus Ibo Aslan. But lost by guillotine choke, TKO win decision. So, look. This is a hard one to pick, and I'm going to tell you why. Junior Tafa, I love to pick you, and I think I'm going to be those 1%. All right, you want a safe bet? Go for Billy Alecana. But Junior got power, man. He used to be a heavyweight, all right? I'm not saying that there's no way that he's going to win. He could be grinding it out. He could get tired. He could be finished and be cut from the organization. But, man, all it really takes is a single punch. And Junior Tafa could change the whole dynamic. I haven't seen any fights from Billy Alecana. From my understanding, he's doing pretty all right in the UFC. He's 2-1. It looks like his weakness is the grappling when he got submitted. But Junior is a tough cookie, man. He could hit hard. He could really shut those lights off pretty quick. It's just unfortunately, I just want to see like how his cardio's been doing. Has he been working on his wrestling? His gritness, his mindset. Look, this is Junior Tafa at home in Australia. And I'm going to go for Junior Tafa. I understand. Crazy pick. You want to go against it? I hope not to eat my words here. Because, look, I'm just being not gonna lie. That last fight card from last weekend, my picks were horrible. I went, I think, like 5-5, 5-6, something like that. All right? There's nothing wrong with going an outside pick. I just don't want Junior Tafa to let me down. They're not good. Now, don't say that because I have the same mustache as this dude. All right, I just noticed that. I'm just basing off that he's fighting at Australia. He has a knockout. He's going to come with the energy from Australia, and I think he's going to find that button. All right, that's my pick. Could be completely wrong. I just hope he doesn't let me down. Now, this is where the segment is going to get a little bit longer. Now, I like a couple of my homeboys asked to see some highlight videos from this. And I'll try my best because there is 10 fighters to go through. So I'm not going to go insane with all of their highlights. I'm just going to show what I like, their finishes. Killian Salkild. He is known as the Pakistani favorite fighter. He's actually knocked out everybody around Pakistan. Crazy. Or is this Jamie Malarkey? Look, Killian is coming a heavy favorite, right? This dude has potential to be a superstar. I like his attitude. He's very funny. He's very in touch with the MMA community. His fights pretty much are insane knockouts. Like, I'm going to go through his record real quick. But I'm talking about this guy is, and look, see again, he is an overall fighter. This is what I like to see. Boom. 4 wins by knockout, 3 wins by submission, and 3 wins by decision. This is what I like to see. This is a good fighter that has a promising career. He is undefeated in the UFC, 1 win in a contender, and 3 wins in the UFC. All right. These knockouts were insane. Nasrat Hakparas, if everybody knows, is his family owns a bakery. Boom! In Ansur Jubilee. This one was insane. Boy just didn't see. And now Ajmos proves that he can go all 3 rounds. He has pushed pretty heavy. But I like to see this. He beat Dom Madfan by rear naked choke. Why I'm so praising this guy. This guy has a future. He can be champ at the 155 division. As long as he stays in the course and he's getting all his skills. Look, this is going to be his 5th fight against people below the top 15. And guess what? If he wins this fight, I think it's time to give him a top 15 fighter. All right, that's going to be, 6 fights? Contender series for the UFC. With this one, that's 5. That's 6 fights. All right, fighting in the big stage, fighting with big components against fighter. He's ranked number 25, at least in the topology. He beats this, he's in the top 20. All right, after this, I would say he is young. He is 26. I don't like to see him rushed too heavily. I like to see him fight 2 more times before the top 15. And the only reason is this. He needs to be battle tested more. Top 15 is a big jump, especially for his age. Then top 10 and top 5. We saw what happened to Paddy Pimblett. All right. He fought a guy who's legit been a top 5 for almost a decade. All right. Against Justin Gaethje, who's, as soon as he entered the UFC, undefeated. He has been in the top 5 since. He has never fought anyone outside of the top 10 or top 11. And Paddy got mauled, destroyed. He really saw the difference between those guys at the top. And I just don't want to see Killian pushed or rushed so fast that his career is derailed. I like to see him champion. He is very fun to watch. I mean, look at this dude. Look at his highlights. Top prospect, right? All right, so I'm not going to show his picks. I just want to show his finishes. He is able to grapple, right? Like from the clinch, from the back. This dude is great. This is the one I want to show. These are calm, smooth. He has dynamite for hands. Look how long he has his frame. And then boom. It took one shot. One shot took him to the ground. One shot. Right here. Boom. Look how far he flew. And then his most recent one. This one. Let hook. And then right here, a right head kick. Knocked him out. I like this dude. He's a fun fighter. I should just kept like this way. He is a fun fighter. Obviously, you can already tell. I'm going to pick him to win. Jamie Malarkey. I'm not going to go over him too heavily in doubt. I really don't know much about this dude. 18-8, definitely more battle tested. A lot older. He is 31. He has power in his hands. 10 fights by finishes by TKO or KO. But this is a concerning. 6 losses by finishes. You can already see what I'm going to get with this, right? This guy is finishable. His chin is questionable. 2 losses by decision. He lost against Mauricio Rufy, lost against Nasrat Haqparast, and lost against Muhammad Naimov. All right. He beat Michael Johnson by split decision. And this is an old Michael Johnson. All right. Michael Johnson right now is on a tear. He beat Rolando Bedoya by decision. I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. He's 6 foot. He's 6'6". Not promising. Obviously, he is low in the rankings. This is just gonna help build more hype and more battle testing for Killian. This is gonna be a killing Sakid. I could see him finishing Jamie in the first round. If history proves me right, 3 losses in the first round, second round. He doesn't go to the third round, and this guy punishes people. He can win by decision, but I just see him finishing Jamie on the first round. Start off this card strong. And after that, they should give him a top 20 or top 15 fighter. Next up, Tai Tuivasa versus Thaleson Teixeira. This is a lose-lose situation for both fighters. Look, I'm going to pull out Tai Tuivasa's record right here. How in the world is it on this? Tai. Bam Bam. Are you actually Tai Tuivasa? Tai Tuivasa. Sorry, Tai. Did not mean to mistake your name. 14-8. He is on a 5-fight losing streak. He's 32. He has still a lot of time. But man, his losses came from knockout, from submission, to by decision. He obviously is a barn burner. He is a lot like Roy Nelson. But look, this is what I'm going to go down pretty in depth with. His last win was against Derek Lewis back in 2022. It's been literally 4 years since his last win. I don't like Tai Tuivasa because when I see him in the media, when I see him outside the season, he gets really big. All right. And his last fight was against Jairzinho Rosenstrike, who is not in the UFC anymore, got cut. That was back in 2024. It's been almost 2 years, a year and a half. We really start counting the months and all that stuff. This doesn't give me confidence, all right? Look, you saw how he came up in the rankings, right? He lost against Sergey Spivak, lost 3 fights in a row. He came in the UFC pretty hot, 1-3. All right, he was undefeated. Lost against beat Andrei Arlovsky, but lost against JDS, lost against Imanov, lost against Spivak. Goes on a tear. Fought against Cyril Gane, was finished in the third round. There was a close time where Tuivasa would have beaten Gane. We would have seen Tuivasa versus John Jones. All right, we were this close in the timeline. The guy who he's fighting, Thaleson Teixeira, he is 8-1, and his only loss was against Derek Lewis. This was back in 2025. This is insane quick. I mean, Teixeira was coming in undefeated. Boy is huge. He's 6'7". All right, he is 26, still so young. All his wins come from finishes by TKO or by a submission. He beat JDS. He beat Arthur Lopes. He beat Justin Tafa, right? Man, I'm going to be honest with you. I hate to say this, but Tuivasa hasn't given like a recent thing for me to look at. Obviously, Tyson Teixeira also same thing. His last fight was he got knocked out against Derek Lewis. But we're not doing MMA math here. Tuivasa did beat Derek Lewis, but that was 4 years ago. Is this the same Tuivasa that was on a tear? I just think he's on and off. I don't think he is disciplined with his diet. I don't think he's taking this as serious. And this is why the heavyweight division is so dead. All right. None of these guys are athletes. All right. It's not like super crazy to be a heavyweight champion nowadays. There's no flair. It's not like boxing. All right. I hate to say this, but I'm going to go for Tyson Teixeira. If Tuivasa pulls this off, I would be happy. I like Tuivasa. He is a fun character, but he is just not a good example of the heavyweight division. He's in a 5-fight losing streak, all right? One more, and he's cut. And UFC can't be giving him all these gifted shots to stay in the business. All right, after 3, I would tell him, hey, man, one more, you're done. But because Australia really likes him, and Australia needs fighters when they go to Sydney once Tuivasa is their guy. But I'm going to go with Towson, man. I'm going to go with Towson. I think he's going to finish in Ty. Unless Ty finishes in the first round and does a shoey. Because, look, history is crazy, right? He could bring up the momentum. If you really want to bet on this fight, I would bet Ty. If you're going to bet and lose money, whatever, bet on him to win. Because he's going to be in the crowd. He's going to be in energy. He's going to come in with a better mood. And, man, dude, do I want to go for Ty? Because he has the same thing. He has that knockout power. Dude, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go for Ty. I think Ty's going to somehow upset it. I just have this weird feeling. There's something in the air. I just think like this is his fight to come back. I'm not saying he's going to come back and make another tear, but this at least keeps him in the business. He's probably going to win, get a shoey, and then hopefully a man with the UFC. Because look, him being the main card after the 5-fight losing streak, I mean, UFC is putting a lot on this guy. Now, the big boys. This is a big 3. Holy shit. Rafael Fiziev, he's not Brazilian. Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Ruffi. Dude, this is an amazing fight. This is an amazing fight. Obviously, we know what Mauricio Ruffi KO from the knockout of the year. I mean, dude, look at this. Look at this. King Green with his hands down low and everything. And then boom. Look, the reason why this is insane is because Mauricio Ruffi is a dog. He is a quiet, but man, he is known as one shot. He currently has been training out there in Australia, and most of his wins comes from knockouts, only one decision. This guy finishes people. Only problem he has is the wrestling department. We saw it on stage against Benoit Saint-Denis. Look, this guy is insane, but his wrestling is weak. He has been working a lot with Craig Jones and Alexander Volkanovski, but that doesn't make your wrestling better. It makes your jiu-jitsu better and your defensive submissions, but it doesn't make you a wrestler. All right, Australia doesn't have wrestling. Let's just be honest. Alexander Volkanovski did really well against Islam, mostly because of Craig Jones teaching him the defensive side, but never taught him the offensive side. Alex pretty much had to learn much by rugby, crazy enough. But Mauricio Rufy, he is a dog. I like his fighting style. He is very, very unique. He reminds a lot of people of Conor McGregor, the way his stance are, long legs, karate stance, how he has his hands up in the air. Like, he is so nice to see when he's fighting. But he's not going to be champion, and I'll tell you why. It's because of his grappling. I'm going to be crazy to say this, but if he fought against someone like Paddy Pimblett, I think Paddy beats Rufy, mainly because of the grappling department. Look, Paddy has a chin, and Rufy's not going to sleep him. So it's going to go down to Paddy's going to try to get him to the ground, which is easier than Justin Gaethje. All right? Benoit Saint-Denis beat him, finished him by running. I mean, from the beginning to the end, literally, Rufy had nothing to answer against Benoit Saint-Denis. And why is this important? Rafael Fiziev, I like this dude. Crazy a Muay Thai. I mean, his Muay Thai is beautiful. I like it. He's 5'8". He is a lot shorter. He is 32. He's in his prime. His last win was against Ignacio Bahamondes. But this is where it gets weird. He lost against Justin Gaethje twice. He lost against Gamrot. Won by a leg injury. We did all see that. That's why he was out for so long, for 2 years. Before that, dude, look at this, man. He beat Alex White. He beat Renato Moicano. He beat King Ring. He beat Brad Riddle. He beat Rafael Dos Anjos. Right? Like, this guy is game. I like this guy's fighting style. A lot of finishes. He has one submission win by... Let's see, how do you win by that one? By a rear neck choke. That was back in 2016. So he's not a grappler. However, he was able to take down Justin Gaethje. And if I was Rafael Fiziev, I gotta stop saying Rafael. I'm so sorry. It's just the Brazilians, man. They fuck me up. If I was Rafael Fiziev, I would grapple with Rufy. But because he comes from a strong Muay Thai base, he's not going to do that. He's probably going to try to strike with him. And that is not a good way. All right? I hate to say this. I do like Rafael Fiziev. But it's a close matchup. I really like this dude. He is fun to watch. He has so much potential. Will he be a champion? No. But, man, every fight he is in, is just so entertaining. But, man, Mauricio Rufy, man, he is dangerous. I'm picking Mauricio Rufy to win this. He's going to finish Rafael Fiziev because Rafael Fiziev is going to find... It's going to be a striking battle. He's not going to try to take him down. And when he's not able to take him down, Mauricio Rufy is just going to line him up. He has the longer reach. He is a lot taller. When he hits you, you're finished. He is way better at finding his targets. And look, I think Rafael Fiziev is a great top 10 fighter. I think he's just a top 15. If Rafael loses this fight, I'd like to see him fight against Michael Chandler next. Bounce back from this. And Mauricio Rufy moves forward. Now, I don't like this matchup for Mauricio Rufy because this is his twice already in a row that he's fighting someone above him, which he already lost against. He should have been fighting someone a lot closer or a lot below him. But, again, this is a fight for Mauricio Rufy to win, to amend from the last fight and go back in track to get the title. Do I think he'll be champion? No, sorry. Your grappling is too weak, man. You're very lucky as the title champion right now. And you against Ilya, dude, Ilya would smoke Rufy. Like, Ilya is like here, right? Rufy striking might be able to handle with Ilya, but it's the grappling part, man. What are you going to do if you can't knock him out? Mauricio Rufy wins this, though. I'm going to give him by knockout, probably in the second round. Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint Denis. Holy fuck. Love this fight. Dan Hooker, we already know what it is. A BMF. Someone who should fight for BMF. This fight is insane. Benoit Saint Denis, obviously, he's finally got pretty much his momentum back. All right, he is in a 3-fight winning streak. But we're gonna go with Dan Hooker, and we're gonna go over his style. Dan Hooker, the psychopath, absolutely insane. The hangman, right? He is currently on a 1-fight losing streak. You could see that he is obviously an overall fighter too. He is an MMA base, but heavily in the striking with a lot of finishes on knockouts and TKO, submission 7, and decision 6. Look, he is 14-9. All right, he is not a guy who's just going to be on a massive tear, but man, did he have a comeback. All right, this is the same guy who went down to 145, lost against Arnold Allen. I think he just cut too much weight. Went back up 155 and just got his momentum back. He beat Claudio Puelles, beat Jalen Turner, and beat Gamrot, right? Crazy fights. He lost against Michael Chandler, lost against Dustin Poirier, lost against Islam, lost against Edson Barboza. You can see, like, Yair Rodriguez was way back when he was at 145. This guy is a dog. He is insane. I like Dan Hooker. But his opponent, Benoit Saint Denis, is insane. This guy, we already know, he's a god of war. He is a former special forces soldier in France. It's like pretty much he was in the SEALs for the United States, but the one version over there in France, right? He has been fighting for a long time. He's in a currently 3-fight winning streak. He is 30. He is younger. He hasn't been battle tested as much as Dan Hooker. He's still got a lot of miles in him left. But this is what is very interesting. He only has 1 loss by decision. He is a finishing fighter. He either finishes you or he gets finished, right? 2 losses by TKO and a bunch of submissions and only 5 knockouts. This guy is a heavily dominant grappler. Very slow. He is not explosive. He is not a fast fighter with a fast twitch or anything. He does build momentum. I mean, when he fought against us in Poirier, this guy fought against Ishmael Bonfim, Thiago Moises, Matt Frevola. Obviously, Dustin Poirier finished him. But BSD was winning that fight until that moment. Then he beat Mark by unanimous decision, but that is literally by grappling. Then Renato Moicano. This one was insane because it was a doctor stoppage by eye injury. But Renato Moicano was winning that fight, though. Before that stop, Renato Moicano was winning that fight. But since then, BSD had to take a little bit step back. He fought against Kyle Propelek that got his momentum again because at that point he was on a 2-fight losing streak. And it would have been 3. The God of War would have been in a bad position. But then these are his 2 best wins, which I think BSD is going to win this weekend. 1, Mauricio Rufy. Dude came with a lot of hype. He was actually the underdog. BSD was the underdog against Rufy. And goes out there and dominates. Rear naked chokes this motherfucker. And next, finishes Beneil Dariush. Now, Beneil Dariush has only been finished by 3 fighters recently. By Charles Oliveira, Armin Sarukian, and now BSD. What does this show? Beneil Dariush actually beat Renato Moicano. I'm not trying to do MMA math, but Beneil Dariush isn't washed, all right, yet. Right? He's already way older. He's not going to fight for the title. But this was a prime example that he finished him like that. Look at this knockout. BSD versus Beneil Dariush. It's quick. It was fast. It wasn't like, look at this full fight moment, right? The entire fight is just they're being presented. That's why like, other fights they immediately just go in. But right here, look at that striking exchange. He is a little fluffy. Boom, knockout. Uppercut, and then left hook. Falls to the ground. Immediately finishes. Slapped him. And Baneo didn't have no idea what was going on. No idea. I am mixed, but I think BSD wins it and he goes to the number 6. Now, next, if Benoit Saint Denis wins this, or Dan Hooker, the first person you should call out is Arman Tsarukyan or Paddy Pimblett. Paddy Pimblett is an easier fighter. Benoit Saint Denis versus Paddy Pimblett will be a good fight. They're both heavy grapplers, so he's going to rely a lot more on the striking. If Dan Hooker wins, same thing. Call out Paddy Pimblett. Squash that beef. Get what they have beef are going on. So if Benoit Saint Denis or Dan Hooker, they should call out Arman. Arman already fought against Dan Hooker, so it would be nice to see him fight against BSD. But if Dan Hooker wins, call out Paddy Pimblett. BSD wins, call out Paddy Pimblett or Arman. All right? Or even the loser between Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway. Anyways, I like this fight. I am going to go with BSD. All right? Benoit Saint Denis. I like this dude. He is insane. He's a Frenchman. I just like his attitude. Is crazy. Will he become champ? I don't know. There's been a lot of champion recently that you just never knew, like a Sean Strickland, right? You never thought that dude was going to be a champ. Peter Yan beating Merab. Peter Yan is still GOAT, but I just didn't think he was going to beat Merab. So this is BSD is definitely one of those fighters that I'm thinking, like, you know what? In the right circumstances, he could be champ. I do generally think so. I really think that if we'll see where his career is going, but he is one fight away from fighting a title. If he beat Dan Hooker, he has that. He's gonna move up to number 6. Paddy's gonna stay at number 5, and he has that chance. Like, all right, Charles Oliveira loses against Max. Let me call him out. Or let me call out Paddy Pimblett. Beating Pimblett gives you name recognition and shows you the title. Benoit Saint Denis is my official pick. All right, I like Dan Hooker, but it's just very hard to be super consistent. The higher level, the more miles you got in your car, man. Now, the big one. Dude, it's been an hour. No, I'm so sorry. This is a long pick. But again, we went through the entire card. It's not easy. This is not an easy pick. Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. Now, look, this is a fight that if you go back and look at their highlights, if you look at their styles, last night I was doing a lot of watching their tape. Volk, obviously, you're only as good as your last fight, so we're only going to be based on that. We already know Volk, what he can do, right? He's really good at fighting laterally, fighting from the outside. He is a phenomenal overall MMA fighter. He could strike with you, could grapple with you. He doesn't finish as often. He finishes more by ground and pound. He doesn't have that knockout standing, but he does mix well with his wrestling to get you to the ground and finish you by that, like he did with Brian Ortega, like he did against Yair Rodriguez. A Korean Zombie, same thing. Like, he was able to finish his fighters because of this mixing of MMA and ground and pound. He's not someone who's going to knock you out standing. But Alex is still fast. His feints is what makes him a perfect fighter. Like, things he baits you with. He is shorter, but he has long arms. So he is able to jab with you. And Diego Lopes. Now look, Diego Lopes has made adjustments. But the one thing I definitely have noticed on his recent fight against Jen Silva, we always talk about improvements, right? From your recent fights, what have you done better to come back in a rematch? Unfortunately, I just did not see anything. On their first fight, Diego Lopes had a problem that he just stood still. He had a strong Mexican boxing style where hands close to the face and throwing a lot of power punches. He will set a lot of things up with the jab and follow with the cross, with the double jab and a cross, which put Volkanovski to the ground. But Volkanovski was immediately able to recognize that, hey, I can't go backwards with this guy. I have to strike with him and immediately move to the lateral, left or right, fight from the outside, fight from the inside. Alex isn't scared to fight in a barn fight, and he has shown time and time again. A lot of the highlights against Diego Lopes, they both have a lot of exchanges. Diego Lopes definitely hits harder than Volk. His last fight was a finish by back spinning elbow. However, and this is a big however, Diego Lopes was losing that fight against Jen Silva. On that second round, Jen Silva was actually overwhelming Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes wasn't moving his head. A lot of things that Volk was doing that replicated a lot what Silva was doing to Lopes. The only difference is that Jen Silva got caught when he was pushing forward and Diego Lopes moved laterally, moved from the outside and threw that elbow, caught Jen Silva. And then he finished him. But a lot of it was a war. It's a barn fight. And I think Lopes, he fought a very smart fight. And that, especially in the first round, get him to the ground. But he didn't get him to the ground by him shooting a takedown. It was by a mistake that Jon Silva turned around, got his back, and then they both fell. And he was able to stay on top. That was the one thing I would say that improved Lopes. Because Lopes has a phenomenal takedown defense. Volk tried multiple times. 10 times. He only got him once. So, my problem with the Volk and his wrestling is that he doesn't set them well when he fought against Lopes, right? He doesn't really do anything to set up a takedown, knowing that Lopes has his pretty much his guard pretty high, but his head down low and his pretty far. Volk immediately just shoots without setting something up, without throwing a jab and then shoot, or throwing overhand and then shoot, or at least go for a single leg. Or when he does get his hands around the legs and the hip, he doesn't really push forward. He just immediately just goes up. Where obviously Lopes is going to have his guard up high, so he's able to throw his underhooks and clinch up, and then they separate. Not a good way to try to take Lopes down. But still, it's good enough to get Lopes worried about it, to keep his down low so that Volk is able to work on that jab, which he was doing beautifully on the first fight. This is how they both win. You know, Lopes still has the power to be able to knock out Volk, but Volk chin obviously works well from the last fight. It took a long time off. I mean, it gave him pretty much almost a year to recover from that fight. So this is still rejuvenated Volkanovski, which they still have another 24 hours to go. They already cut weight last night. So they have plenty of time to go back to where they're weight. They're having a lot more time to recover. So this is a good sign for Volk because one, he's going to be more refreshed. He's fighting at home, so he's not having any travel issues. And he has an additional 12 hours of just able to just, rehydrate. Because they're fighting, Sunday morning? And they cut weight Friday morning? Like, they have 2 days. And this plays a lot. This does play a lot. Same with Diego Lopes. But Diego Lopes, his path to winning against Volk is that you got to mix the takedown. I don't care if you don't get it. You are a phenomenal grappler. I've seen it. He's able to mount. He's able to control Jen Silva to the ground, right? Not an easy task. You got to use your wrestling. You got to be more comfortable with it. And I have seen him wrestling more. So I want to see that in that fight. Shoot the single leg. He is shorter. His hips are far. All right, clinch up to the fence. Now grab for a single. Get him to the ground. At least get Volk to be worried about that, like what Islam did. Obviously, I'm going to be straightforward here. I am going for Volkanovski. I just don't think Diego Lopes has changed his game or approach for this second fight differently. I think I just going to see the exact same fight as the first one. And remember, we're going to look back as like This is why this shouldn't have been booked a second time. This push for this market is like, you can't. It has to be authentic. Like Volk, like a Connor, like a John Jones, right? Or like a GSP. These were markets that was authentic because they built it up. They were battle tested. They weren't just pushed to the front like a Lopes, like a Paddy Pimblett, like a Sugar Sean, right? When they fought someone who is battle tested, who is a better fighter, they will lose. Sean versus Muram, Paddy versus Justin, Lopes versus Volk. And I did not want to see this again. But I had to go in details on why I think how Rush should win. If Lopes is going to be Volk, you saw what Islam had to do. All right. You're going to have to mix in the takedowns to get him out. Push him ladder. He did a phenomenal well of keep on pushing Volk. But you got to be better to learn how to cut him off. All right. If Volk is fighting on the outside, you got to be able to fight. At least move quicker to go cut him off. All right. So you can find those hooks. And number 2, and this is a big one that I saw from the fight. When you had Volk in trouble, there's moments that you did have him in trouble. You just stopped. You slowed down. All right. You got to go for the kill. You had moments where Volk was literally running away or trying to get to the cage, and you were putting pressure. And I get it. It's not easy because Volk is like also trying to outstrike and save himself. But you got to be willing to throw caution to the wind and say, hey, look, either I go down or you go down. And I had to put in pressure. You had those dynamite. You had the ferocity. We've seen it. You gave Volk too much respect in the first fight. This time you got to disrespect him. If you really want that title, you got to go out there and say, you know what? You might be you might beat me the first time, but I'm not that same guy anymore. I am hungrier. If I see that you're in trouble, I am pouncing on you. I'm doing whatever it takes. Elbows, throw you to the ground, punching, find a kick. Don't be scared to engage. Go all in. You get tired, so what? You've been on this, like, you've been fighting. This is what you're dreaming for. You got to fight for it. Now, this is my personal opinion, but I just don't see that Diego made those adjustments on his last fight. But we will have to see this Saturday, tomorrow. My final pick will be for Volkanovski. I do think he beats Diego Lopes. And what's next up for Volk is literally the winner between Movsar and Murphy. And he has, I think, one more fight in him. I generally do think so. Now, if somehow Volk loses, I don't want to see a trilogy. That's just stalling the featherweight division. Obviously, they're going to push for it. They could make it the White House, but I think Volk beats Diego Lopes again. I think that's my final decision. Now, hey, look, thank you. If you end up watching this video, it is a super long video, kind of trying to go as in deep in detail each fighter, showing the highlights, showing the topology, what I think. Please like, comment, subscribe. We'll continue this, and we might have a stream tomorrow. We'll see. I might go out and watch the fights, but we'll see you tomorrow and see how my picks go. Thank you. See you later.